بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد عجل فرجهم. In the name of God, the all gracious, all merciful, I take refuge in God from Satan, the rejected. First of all, I want to congratulate the coming days of the great moments of Shiite, the birthday anniversary of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and also half of Shaban for Imam al-Zaman ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, and also for the last week ceremonies in regard to the Bi'tha of the Holy Prophet of Islam. The topic that I have chosen to talk about today is somehow different from the atmosphere. Maybe you would think that I'm going to talk about the birthday anniversary of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, but I prefer to talk about some important subject which is always occupying my mind and I am always interested to talk about, which I'm sure that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is also satisfied that if we talk about the issues that are insightful, making us and giving us some insights and contemplations, and give us the moments of thinking and knowing our time and age. This is very important. The subject that is today very frequently talked about subject is the issue of the media imperialism. Since I'm working in the issue of the media for near 1 decade, and I have taught in the universities of the media studies, and also I am the head of the International Affairs Department of Al Mustafa Open University, so I am a bit acquainted with the issues of the cyberspace, about the issue of the media, about the issue of the internet, the social networks, the first web period, the second web period, and the third web period. You know, if you refer to the history of the as much of a cyberspace, you would see that the first generation was the issue of the emailing, the usual Googling, and the ordinary things, and the second generation or the second web age was the issue of the social networks, and the third one, which is somehow related to the second, is the issue that you would see on the cell phones. You would find the social groups which like the Viber, Tango, Members, and likewise issues. All of them are created, I can say, meaningfully and purposefully or deliberately. This is very important for us to know. You know, I invite you to listen to third phrases which are very somehow talked about, and it is a bit sorrowful, but we have to deal with. You know, I was searching in a PowerPoint on the issue of the media imperialism. I noticed 3 sentences that were very, as I told you, very sad for me, you know, to listen to them and to read. For example, it was written that, for example, a good Muslim is a dead Muslim. Or for example, all Muslims are not terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslim. Or for example, it was written on the issue of on the entrance of one shop that no Muslim entry. You know, I want to talk that how comes that such phenomena are happening nowadays, that the issue that we sometimes encounter with are on the issue or in the favor of the Islamophobia, and also polluting the face of one religion. What is the main reason behind that? Is it really good, or it is bad? Or we have to talk about this issue. You know, if we refer, I can say that the main reason and the first and foremost, the mainstream and the reason of this issue is the media. We have to pay attention that media and the phenomenon of the, for example, the movies and etc. From one hand is a kind of art and a skill, but at the same time it is conveying the message which is somehow political, the message which is beyond art, beyond the issue of the entertainment. You know, by the entertainment, by the facilities and the tools which are made for the entertainment, one can also convey the message which is political. If you look at the history of the, for example, Hollywood, which is the main corporation for the movie making, you would see that the 6 major corporations, which are Warner Entertainments, which is the 20th Century Fox, Paramount Pictures, Walt Disney Pictures, Columbia Pictures, and Universal Pictures. All of these 6 corporations, which are made in 1916, before the first, as a matter of fact, before the world wars, are paving the way to the issue that nowadays, in the 21st century, after 100 years, we see the consequences and the results. So we can see that the issue of making a corporation, which is under the name of Hollywood, or the 6 main corporations, is a long-term process and project. You know, it is not very ordinary, or it is not that much easy that we can see that, for example, it has been made, for example, for hobby, for entertainment, and nothing else. But if we look at the main purposes of these main movie making, and we can say the American motion picture industry, you would see that first of all, these entertainment, these media are made first of all for management of the public opinion. It is very important that by this issue they want to manage the public opinion, the public attention. How they can penetrate into the thinking and the way of thinking of your mind, of your attitude and your ideology. First of all, the first issue is by the using of the female and the ladies as a means and as a tools in the entertainment, in the media. It is mentioned that blood, violence, love, money and power, these are the 5 elements. These are the 5 elements of the today media: blood, violence, love or lust, money and power. These are the main issues that by these ways they want to manage the public opinion. The second main purpose of the Hollywood corporations were making antagonists and protagonists. What does it mean? Antagonist and protagonist. It can be interpreted as good and evil. Protagonist is good, antagonist is evil. Now, what is the result? The main result is that by the media and by the Hollywood, one of the crucial and one of the fundamental and basic purposes and the aims and policies of the Hollywood was making who is good in the world and who is bad. What is good and what is bad. Who is antagonist and who is protagonist. Okay, so in this way, they have made good attempts that after 100 years, that I'm going to talk about, after 100 years, they are reaching to their purposes. What you would see now after the 9/11, you would see that somehow the Muslim face is going to be somehow polluted if we don't manage. Look, if they want to manage the public opinion, also the Muslim corporations, the Muslim movie making industry also have to work on the issue. If you compare the movie, the rate and the average rate of the movies that we see in the television and the movies which are compared are made in the Muslim lands, how much is the percentage? For sure, the movies that we see in the television, in the cinema, in the cable channels and etc., in the satellite movies, you will see that 9.9 are from the Hollywood or from the, I can say, the Western lifestyle movies that all of us somehow enjoy from these kinds of movies. The movies which are made on the issue of the luxury life, the Western lifestyle with good, for example, a luxury car, luxury life, facilities, furniture, and home settings, and etc. But how many movies and how many, I can say that how many mass media productions are made in the world of the Muslim world? This is very important that we have to work on the issue. We have to attempt that if we do not, if we do not disseminate a clear image and face and clear image of Islam, if we don't introduce ourselves, the other would introduce ourselves and us. It is mentioned that we are living in the 4th World War. The First and Second World War, that was very, very clear before the Second World War ended at the end of the 1940s. And after that, immediately we entered into the realm of the Cold War. It is mentioned that from the beginning of the Cold War, that the East and the West were in a kind of polarization age and area. You would see that the world has seen near 50 years of Cold War, from 1960s to 2001, which is 9/11. This period, the Cold War period, until the breakdown and the collapse of the Soviet Union, and after that 110 years, all of them are the Third World War. And after 9/11, it has been mentioned that we have entered in the issue of the Fourth World War. If you look at the Cold War period, we do not look at the war as a battlefield, we are using the guns, the arsenals, the tanks, the guns, these things. If we do not interpret war in this way, you would see that in the Cold War, near 80 wars had happened. The result of these 80 wars, the result is the mass slaughtering and the people who were dead and who were killed in this area of the Cold War, which world has experienced near 80 wars. You would see that the number of the people who have been killed in this period is more than even the First and the Second World Wars. And many countries has been separated and we can say that many wars has been disintegrated. They have been suffering from these results. For example, you will see that Korea has been separated into two parts, North and South, the Vietnam into North and South, the Germany into East and West, the Yemen to North and South. For example, you would see the war of Iran and Iraq, you would see the Vietnam, and these issues, all of them were a result of the Cold World War. Now, what was the result of the media in this period? In this period, the media were working very powerfully. In this period, which was called the New World Order period, after the breakdown and the collapse of the Soviet Union, the West didn't have any enemy now. So who is the enemy now? Because the Soviet has been broken down, and there wasn't any other antagonist now. So these movies, these corporations were looking to the new enemies. Who is the new enemy in this area? We have to pay attention. Who is this enemy? Look at the movies, for example, like the Universal Soldier. If you look at the movie of the Delta Force, if you look at the movie of the World Gendarme, if you look at the movie of Under Siege, all of these movies which have been made before the 9/11, where all of them were giving the audience an image of the new enemy. Who is this new enemy? Terrorism. All of these movies, which were, as I told you, if you look at, for example, machoist movies, that you have the Terminator, the Rocky, Rambo, the movies which have been made by the Hollywood, as I told you, this Under Siege, the Universal Soldier with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and all these actors and actresses, all of them were conveying one message, that there is one new enemy to the world, and that is terrorism. Now, who is the terrorist? This is very I can say very fine and very delicate issue. The media and the West and the new countries, the countries that were looking for the new world order, they needed a new enemy. Now they wanted to have a new turnover, the new turning point. They were looking for a turning point. And with the 9/11, this turning point had happened. Now, after this phenomenon, the 9/11, now this is a good moment to introduce the new enemy. Who is this new enemy? Muslims. In one private session which was classified and confidential. One of the, I don't want to bring the name or the country, but one of the intelligence service headquarters mentioned that now we are fighting with Islam. 22 countries must be in problem after 9/11. If we do not do anything before Islam, Islam will encompass all the world. So they programmed and they planned for 30 years that in these 30 years, these 22 countries must be scattered. Some of the name of those countries: Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, Sudan, and likewise countries. And you would see that after 9/11, after 10 years or 1 decade, these countries now are in trouble. So, the new enemy. Now, what they need to do to introduce this new enemy, they started to make movies which they were trying to somehow pollute the face of Islam, like the movie of 300, if I pronounce it correctly, or the movie of Alexander, or the movie which has been made by Oliver Stone, which they were showing that the Muslims are violent, or the movies they have made against sometimes against Iran, like the stoning of Thoraya, or Never Without My Daughter, or the wrestling person, or the airplane 103. These were the movies that have been made to show that the new problem to the world is Islam. So they are paying millions of dollars and euros to feed up these movie corporations, and Muslims have to be vigilant in this period. They have to look what is going on. So, what are the ways to introduce the terrorism? First of all, as I told you, introducing the new enemy, Islamophobia, and also one of the other ways in order to make the people to be reluctant and indifferent to religion and to Islam was the fact that they wanted to make new movies which are talking about superstition. They replaced religion with superstition. Now, what are some of the names of those movies? For example, Harry Potter, Narnia, Constantine, The Ninth Gate of Polanski, The Devil's Advocate, or The Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit. All of these movies you see that are made in the last decade, all of them are going to introduce the fact that we don't need religion. Magic and superstition and the magicians are good replacements for the religious people. And you would see that with very beautiful facilities and with very beautiful movies, very interesting and attractive movies, they have attracted the mind of the people in the world. In 2007, a group of the archbishops in Mexico City, they gathered together to understand that why the young are going to be reluctant and indifferent to the issue of religion. In 2007, They understood that the first and foremost reason was the Harry Potter movie. The Harry Potter movie was one of the main ways to, as a matter of fact, to make the young indifference to the issue of religiosity. The fifth point was, as a matter of fact, the fifth way that they wanted to introduce the new world order, or in their way the globalization or the global village or the etc., was the issue of the Western lifestyle. You know, we don't have a PowerPoint here, but unless I would show you. But if you look at the advertisements, if you look at the propaganda, you will see that they have conquered the mind of the people with a very luxurious Western lifestyle. You know, all of the young generation, even the eldest generation, they love to live in a Western lifestyle with a big house, for example, a swimming pool with good, for example, luxurious car around, for example, with the most modern furniture at home. Okay, you cannot find any trace of religiosity in this lifestyle. Now, with this lifestyle, with this kind of, I can say that persuasion, they want to show that this is the best life. You don't need religion. Okay? If you want to have a good life, this is the way. A luxury life that we introduce you without any borders, without any limitations. You can have contacts with the opposite sex, for example, without what is the need for religion, for example? You want to limit yourself. Let your heart to be kind. You don't need religious rituals and etc. These are something that tied your hands, and you cannot, even in some ideologies they have promoted this idea that it is a kind of narcotic opinion or narcotic phenomenon. Religion is a narcotic to your mind. It is going to make you indifferent to the worldly life. But these kinds of movies are showing that no, you have to be attached to this kind of. So the main 4 or 5 ways to conquer and to have a new world order image on the mind of the people was the issue of Western lifestyle. So Western lifestyle, replacement of the religion with superstition and magic, introducing the new antagonist, Islamophobia, and the movies which are showing the counterpart civilizations. They not only want to somehow destroy the image of religiosity, but also they want to somehow manipulate. They want to change the history by the change in the civilization. By some movies, as I told you, like Alexander, like the movie of 300 or 300, they wanted to show that even the civilizations are different. The history is different. We are different. All of us are different. We have to think differently. Okay? So these were the new ways that they wanted to show a kind of I can say, kind of phenomena to introduce the new antagonist. I don't want it, before coming here, no, I have been informed that I cannot name some of the corporation or some of the issues which are somehow political. However, I wanted to end my lecture here by this point that all of us have to be somehow, we mustn't be indifferent to the things that are happening around us. You know, why in the movies, why in the different situations, Muslims are introduced as lazy people, as people who do not pay attention to their appearance, to be in a neat appearance, or they're always, for example, they do not pay attention to the worldly life. But if we refer why these phenomena are happening, Islam and Muslims are introduced in this way. Why, for example, I go to one country, I introduce myself as a Muslim, they say, are you, for example, Taliban? Are you Al-Qaeda, for example? You know, this is very, I can say, this is very sad, you know. You go to one country for a conference or for any occasion, when you introduce yourself as a Muslim, they say, are you, for example, this extremist or that? Why Islam has been introduced in this way? This is because that somehow we are not active in the cyberspace, in the media space. We are always using these facilities. We are somehow passively acting. We are not generating. If you look at the activities that are happening in the cyberspace, undoubtedly, without any hesitation, we would react and we as Shias can react before this phenomenon which is against Islam. You know, if we promote and if we disseminate the message of Islam, which is based on peace and unity, which is based on peaceful coexistence, trust, loving the neighbor, which is based on the tolerance, you know, that as a matter of fact, we have to be tolerant. Although we are hearing the opposite voice, we have to be patient, okay? So if we convey the main message of Islam and religiosity, you know, today I can say that even it is not Islam that is in danger, the religiosity is in danger. The number of the people who are going out of religious realms and religiosity is very high. If you look at the young who are coming out of different religions and they change to be atheists or they join the anti-God movements, or they join to the new religious phenomena like the Luciferists, the Satanists, the number is very must be scrutinized. We have to be very contemplative on the numbers, you know, and how we can do and how we can actually develop ourselves in this way is that we have to be active in the issue of the I can say that in the issue of the art, in the issue of the media, in the issue of the things that is attractive for the young, for the families. We have to convey and we have to send the message of Islam via the most important and affordable and via the influential and effective facilities and means. I don't want to make you much more tired. I ask that may Allah enable us to be much more vigilant and much more watchful to the world, and may Allah enable us to be good Muslims and also to disseminate Islam good and well, to disseminate the message of Islam in the best form, and to be the real example of the saying of Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam, that if the people would hear our voice and the beauties of our lessons, they will follow us. So may Allah enable us to be the real followers and the real people who are sending the message of Islam, which is peace and actually trust and love. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.